Okay, so I am sorry that I'm not here today. Continuing on with chapter 8, let's see, looking at the pacing calendar. As I probably told you already, I'm doing this lesson before, I've actually finished the week. So today is the Tuesday before my surgery. So I'm guessing I probably told you that the pacing calendar is, something's wrong with it. 8E is a short lesson and 8D is a long lesson. So I must have done something backwards. So we're going to do 8D in several different mini lessons. The first thing I'm going to do is teach you about how to add algebraic fractions. See, 8C is multiplying and dividing. Okay, just as a refresher, if you had to add, wait, let me title the lesson. Lesson 8D, and this is just part 1. So there you go. It starts on page 151. And let's say you had to add two pretty simple fractions. You had 2/3 plus 1/5. Just as a reminder how you would do that. Let's see. You have to have the same denominator. So they have to have the same common denominator. So what is the number that has to be on the bottom of both of those fractions to add them? I'll give you a second to think about it. If you guessed 15, you would be correct. 15 needs to be at the bottom. I apologize for my cats making sounds if you can hear them. Now, we're going to convert this fraction to this fraction. Okay? So let's look at, how do we get from 3 to 15? Well, the answer would be you would multiply by 5 to get to 15. Now, if you recall, what you do on the bottom, you must do on the top as well. So there would be 10 on top. Now, let's do the same thing with this fraction to this one. Okay, we have to multiply times 3 to get to 15. And then we would do times 3 again. What we do on the bottom, we must also do on the top. Now, since we have the same denominator on both fractions, we can then add them. So let's see, we now have, the rule is you add the numerators and you keep the common denominator. And that winds up being 13 over 15. And that's your final answer. So that's just a refresher on how you add two fractions with unlike denominators. So let's see. Let's go to example 1, or whatever example it is. Not example 1, it's example 11 actually. It's the 11th example in this whole chapter. Let's see. Okay. It says it says simplify. A is x over 2 plus 3x over 4. And B is going to be a over 3 minus 2a over 5. Okay, let's do example 11a first. Okay, so we have to have the same denominator. So think about for a second what number we need to have at the bottom. Okay, if you said 4, you would be correct. So once again, we have to figure out how we're going to get from the first fraction to the second fraction. So we're going to figure out how we can get from here to here. So what do we have to multiply 2 by to get 4? Well, the answer would be 2. And what we do on the bottom, we must also do on the top. We wind up with 2x. Just write it as 2x, not x2. 2x is more appropriate. Okay, now this one already has a 4 at the bottom, so lucky us, we don't have to change anything there. So we just get to keep that one. Okay, so the rule is you add the numerators and keep the common denominator. And so you get 5x over 4, and you are done. You have just added algebraic fractions. There you go. Pretty simple. Okay, let's see. Let's do B. That was pretty... Oops, my battery is getting low already. That's not a good thing. Okay, let's see. What number do we have to have at the bottom to subtract these two fractions? And subtracting fractions is exactly the same as adding fractions. You just have to, subtract instead of add the numerators. So, okay, so think about for a second what number you're going to have at the bottom. You're looking for the least common multiple of 3 and 5. What number would that be? Okay, if you guessed 15, that would be correct. Okay, let's see. So to get from 3 to 15, we have to multiply by 5, correct? What we do on the bottom, we must do on the top. And then this one we do have to change, 5 times 3, and then times 3. So we already have a number here too. So we have to make sure we multiply this 2 times 3. Okay, we get 6a. Alright, so the rule is you are going to now subtract, since we have subtraction, we are going to subtract the numerators and keep the common denominator. So it's 5a minus 6a over 15. That winds up being negative 1a over 15. And I think the book went further. Not really much, but you're just going to write that as negative a over 15. You don't need to write the 1. But you can. There's nothing wrong with writing the 1. It's just in the answer key. You're not going to see the 1, so you might get a little bit confused. But anyway, that was example 11 of lesson 8D. So now go ahead and do number 1 in exercise 8D. And when you're done with that, then you can watch the next video for example 12. And so I will see you at that video.